everybody? Welcome back to another episode of All the Things Sword of Truth. We are actually starting Book 2 of the Sword of Truth series tonight. That is Chapter 1 of Stone of Tears.
Yes. What's going on, everybody?
I'm Jade.
I'm Nate.
And we're super excited to hang out with you guys and talk about this chapter tonight. I don't know if we're gonna have to change the way we start our little intro blurb with the name of it, because now it's Stone of Tears.
Yeah. Well, change it up, do it a little different.
This is the alcohol-fueled chapter-by-chapter reread of the Sword of Truth series with Craft Brew on the side. No clever one this time, because we're live, and I was, trying to focus.
Well, that and we're drinking whiskey, so.
Yeah, also that.
Oh, I gotta reach mine.
Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers. Hey, cheers to all of you guys.
Yes. So, I think we should just get right into the chapter, and everybody, if you're there with us right now, feel free to comment, and we will get to you as soon as we can. If you're not, then when you get here, we will be happy. So this chapter is a really short one.
Yeah, it's only 15 minutes on Audible.
Yeah, and it's pretty straightforward. They're all in the Garden of Life, and a thing comes out.
Yeah, really, the chapter's 15 minutes, but it takes place in the space of 5.
Yeah.
To me.
Yeah,
it was really fast.
Yeah. Yeah, because from the time that Rachel sees them to the time they run out, it's bam.
By the time shit goes down.
Yeah.
Literally, chapter 1. Bad shit happens in Wizard's First Rule in the first chapter, too. Just right away.
I feel like it's less intense in Wizard's First Rule, though. There's a lot more character building first. They're meet your hero. This is the guy. Get used to him a little bit, and then we'll throw some shit at him.
Yeah, but he got bit right away.
That is true.
I guess that's all I meant. Something bad happens to Richard immediately in the first book, and in this one, well,
I guess I was just thinking I would definitely rather take on a vine than whatever this is.
Yeah, oh yeah. Plan's much easier.
But I would also probably not forget my knife.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's true. It might have been a completely different story had Richard remembered his knife.
But also, I would probably cut myself with my knife. So this is a whole circular thing.
Yeah, Jade's not allowed sharp things.
Hi, Al, Jenna Lee. I think I'm saying that right.
What's up, guys? I think so. It's not Jenna Lee.
Yeah.
Jenna Lee.
Yeah. I know I put emphasis on the wrong parts of words sometimes, like Tamarang.
I also don't know if you want to go too far the other way and say, Jenny Lee.
Right.
So, yeah, Jenna Lee, I think.
So, right off the bat, when we start out, Rachel is seeing something look at her out of the bushes, much like Harry Potter when he first sees Dobby.
Yeah, something creepy in the dark woods in the corner of the room. I mean, obviously in that, he's just in the corner of the room, but
yeah, scary
nonetheless.
Dobby's a little less creepy, I think. But this thing is at least as big as she is.
Yeah, the thing is, the thing I had trouble with right off the bat is the size of the Garden of Life. I didn't fully grasp the immensity from Wizard's First Rule, I guess. Rachel, right away in this chapter, describes this room as being an indoor forest.
Yeah.
So, huge.
I think maybe that just got lost for you, because I remember Richard talking about walking through the indoor forests, and I don't know, I'm not really sure. It might have been the Garden of Life when Denham took him through there, but it may I guess I was thinking it was a different indoor forest, and they had multiple indoor forests, but that sounds a little ridiculous. But I guess
yeah, how big is the palace?
Yeah.
Maybe it did. Maybe it did just slip past me, but no, it really made me reconsider the way I was envisioning the Garden of Life. The whole thing with Carl, completely different now. But yeah, so to add to that, this thing is like hiding in the woods in the dark, so it's far enough away,
Yeah.
just close enough to see.
Mm-hmm. And Zed and Chase and Rachel are all hanging out there in the Garden of Life. We know it's the Garden of Life because the little, like, altar thingamabob with the boxes is there, and they're chit-chatting about it.
They're just looking at it.
Basically for our benefit, probably, though, because, I mean, I know that they're actually talking, but they're, like, letting us know that they don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Well, and I think they're kind of setting up the rules for the book. You know, Zed's like, hey, just because, you know, I know what it is, it doesn't mean that I can open it. And you're like, okay, so it's still tricky. And then he goes on to say something like, you know, if I close it, I could die too. Who knows? Could die or something worse.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, opening one could, like, destroy the world, so let's not be so hasty on, like, closing one up.
Right.
Okay?
He just flipped it open, and it all went bad for him. So let's just take a second
Yeah, just
before slamming that thing shut.
take a breath, okay?
Oh, Jenna has joined us. What's up, Jenna? She says, I know it says in the other books for sure, but yeah, it's a freaking huge garden. That's what it's like an indoor woods. That blew me away. I figured it was a large room because it was like a garden, but like a greenhouse.
Oh, yeah.
In a castle,
no.
but a castle.
A castle.
In a castle, but like really big one. Like probably bigger than our house, but it wasn't woods.
Yeah.
Forest. It's not. We're from Michigan. It's the woods.
Are you thinking, like the Beast's ballroom size, kind of?
Yeah, big, but not massive.
Yeah.
Like the nature center by our house. We've been there before.
Yeah.
There's a good chunk of woods there, but it's not like it doesn't go for miles by any means, but there's a lot of land there. That's definitely thick woods. I picture it to be about the size of that, where you could, you know, walk through it. I mean, my realizing how big it is, it's probably got to be about that size.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I think that it's not big enough to where you're gonna get lost, or it's gonna take you like a day to walk across it. But it's definitely large. It'll take you a hot minute to walk across it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right. Al says, remember, the People's Palace is basically a city. And I know there's, you know, several tiers to it as well. This has to be one of the upper tiers. That or there has to be nothing above it because the glass ceiling, right?
Yeah, there's like a domed glass ceiling.
So it is a greenhouse. It's just fucking huge.
Yeah. Yeah, I was also a little bit confused because in the last book they talk about the front steps, like they go outside and there's all those people gathered below them. But then, like most of the time, they talk about how the People's Palace is very defensible because they have that like ramp or whatever,
Right?
that goes up the side. So there's not like a traditional like front step that people would join, like convene. But underneath, at the bottom of.
Okay.
So it was just confusing to me, the layout of the palace, I think, a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Well, it does. I mean, it does say in Wizard's First Rule that it's the shape of a spell. We don't know what that would be exactly, but there's a pattern to it of some kind.
And there is stairs, like, up the middle of it, too.
Yes.
Like, up the center. But that's not where he was addressing the troops.
No, probably not. Plus, we know it's on the top of the plane, so he may very well have to come out of the side, but it's a huge place.
Yeah.
So the front of wherever you're standing in front of it would be the front. This is the front today, guys. Let's just roll with it. On a plateau, right.
Oh, Omen Machine. We have a minute before we get to Omen Machine, but that will give us some idea of the size.
Oh, yeah, I guess it would. But you're right. We can't break.
Stick to what we're talking about.
Just
Nate.
this book. This is the trouble.
This
because
is the trouble.
You want to do that so much.
There is one specific part at the end of the original series that made me want to talk about the series over and over, and we can't talk about that yet, and that's a struggle.
Yeah.
But I think actually this is a little bit of a sideways shoot off, but I do think that we did talk about doing that miniseries of the Children of Dahara.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
And in that series, that's all fair game.
Yeah, I think so.
I think we have to. You have to address those things. We don't necessarily have to go back to them every time, but that's anything before those books we can talk about.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to that. Release the books. It's fine. Release the books. Okay. So back to our first chapter. So Rachel is standing there, hugging on Chase's leg, and she's like, "Hey, there's a thing over there. Pay attention to that, maybe." Because she wonders if there's anything that's alive in there.
Yeah, she asks if it's a bear.
Well, because she's been hanging out in the woods.
Yeah. Well, there's bears in the woods.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I got a kick out of that. She's like, is it an alive thing? Is it not? And while she's starting to panic at the thought of there being some sort of wildlife in there, we kind of cut back to Chase and Zed, who are still talking about the box.
Because Chase is shut up, basically. I mean, in a nice way, but he basically is just shh.
Yeah, he's like, oh, okay, yeah, no, there's no bears in here. Don't worry about it. You're with me. It's fine. Keeps talking to Zed, and he's talking about the stone that came out of the box. Or more rather, he asks if it came out of the box, and Zed says yes. It's a black stone. And he doesn't want to say what he thinks it might be until he's sure. But he thinks that it might be related to the veil being torn.
Right. Also, why didn't he mention to anybody that this when did this happen? Was Darkin sucked into the ground and then this stone magically popped out of this box? Or did this happen after everything and they came back into the garden life and it just pooted out a little stone at them when they walked towards it?
Out a stone. Well, I mean, and with all the research Darkwing Rawl did you catch that? Darkwing Rawl? That was close. Old school cartoon reference. If Dark and Rawl put all the time and energy into studying the books, surely he would have known that a black stone would pop out of the box when you open it.
Now,
or just had it in there when you opened it. Everything was floating, so who knows what was going on.
Now, I think Dark and Rawl didn't plan on this, obviously, because he was planning on being succeeding. That was the ultimate goal. But he was hey, I'm an agent of the underworld, so remember the prophecy? So he has obviously read about prophecies where he doesn't succeed, and that I'm sure he did know.
So this is hard plan B.
Yeah, I think he was if I die, then this is what's going to happen. I think when I first read Wizard's First Rule, I didn't realize how laid out they had been here's the plot for the next book, but they definitely did.
Oh yeah. No, actually, you know what? I never put that together before. That's probably what he was referring to. Yeah, and Al just said the stone came out of the box while they were out.
So then Zed doesn't know for sure it came out of the box.
It could have just appeared.
Yeah, if you didn't see it, you don't know. A fucking mouse could have dropped it there.
Oh, and the stone wouldn't have come out unless he failed. You know, that may be, but I still think that Darkin would have known about the stone.
No, I agree with you. I think he did.